welcome to the Spoonful of Melanin Couch. Thank you for joining us for our very first episode. I am Shamira.
I'm Camille.
I'm Jasmine.
I'm Valerie.
And I'm Jillian. Today we're going to do an icebreaker where I want you all to share your favorite recipes or dishes using apple. We're going to just toss the apple around, don't drop the apple, and let's get started.
Taffy apples are my fall favorite.
Apple crisp.
Apple cider.
Baked apples and cinnamon. Apple strudels.
Oh, apple pie.
Apple fritters.
Apple French toast.
Apple waffles.
Apple tart.
Applesauce.
Apple cupcake.
Apple cider.
Dried apples. Apple muffins.
Apple juice.
Apples.
Apple tarts.
So that was fun, but now it's time for us to get to what really brought us together, and that's to answer your questions. So thank you to everyone who submitted questions. We have them all here in our mason jar, and we're just gonna pick one of them. All right, ladies. So, what is a dietitian? I'm gonna throw that out to the group.
I think a dietitian is a translator. We've all been trained in evidence-based, research-based practices, and so it's now our job to then translate that to our everyday life, no matter who you are, how old you are, your family. And so for me, I think that we're really like a translator of this language. That may not make sense to everyone, but it's our responsibility to make sure that it can be that information can be incorporated into everyone's lives, because we all deserve to eat healthy.
And I think we're all dietitians in different spaces. So for me, I work in a more public health space, and I'm translating, as Camille said, to low-income and minority communities what things that they should be incorporating into their diet to live a healthier lifestyle, how to make the most of the environment that they are living in, to be the healthiest version of themselves.
I actually work with the elderly, so usually I'm dealing with managing the current diagnosis and comorbidities and like end-of-life care. So it's about having a clinical side to address, chronic kidney disease, diabetes, but also trying to maintain their life that they have left.
I think it's important to note that we're just a small segment of that. So you can see dietitians in the sports realm, you can see them in grocery stores, you can see them in, bigger companies, food companies. Every space where you see someone working, you can just about bet that a dietitian can work their way in there.
Oh yeah. Because
food plays a role in everything. So it's so important for us to be in those spaces.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you all, but whenever I tell someone I'm a dietitian, there's so many stereotypes associated with being an RD or a dietitian.
Yeah.
So I think like some of the biggest ones are like, oh, you're the food police, or as soon as I tell someone I'm a dietitian, they're like, can you make me a meal plan?
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you all have gotten?
Yeah, the meal plan one, for me, I'm just like, you do realize that that's what I'm like trained to do, and that's what I could pay people. It's not like I'm just like meal plans out here. It's like, you plan on like paying for this meal plan?
The big thing that I get all the time when I say, oh, I'm a dietitian, people are always like, oh, so you don't eat meat? Let me tell you something. I eat the meat.
Oh, so you're vegetarian.
This girl loves a hamburger, y'all. She loves a hamburger.
All the food. Just because we're dietitians doesn't mean we don't eat. We love food. We love all the food. That's why we're dietitians.
Dietitian by day, foodie by night. That's what I say.
For sure.
And the whole thing on like carbs, like, oh, I can't eat any carbs at all. I'm just like you need carbs, your body needs carbs. It's energy, like calm your ass down, girl.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. One thing I actually don't like when people do is you talk about food police, but when people food police themselves around me because they know that I'm a dietitian, that makes me really uncomfortable because it's like, I'm not trying to have you guys judge me when I pull up to McDonald's one day because that's what works for me at that time, that place.
Like, it's like you think I'm food policing you, so then therefore I feel like you're food policing me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. If I'm at happy hour, if I'm watching the game with people, I don't want you judging
Right.
for what I'm
Like, oh, you're
eating.
eating a pizza?
Yes, I'm eating a pizza.
So with all of these challenges that people present to us every day, tell me, what exactly do you like about being a dietitian? What do you enjoy?
I love wearing, all the hats that I can wear. Yeah, although I work with the geriatric population, I also get a chance to do a lot of education to the public. And that's through the media, or maybe I get to write something that's more focused towards consumers, and also being able to educate on a larger scale, through the TV. So I love the community aspect of it, and I love being able to also be creative, whether I'm making a recipe. The list goes on, but my thing about it is just all the hats that we can wear. I love it.
I feel like food gives me the chance to be the ultimate communicator, because everybody speaks the language of food.
Yeah.
Everybody relates to food. And to be able to take something that everybody relates to and speak to them in a way that not only acknowledges, that part of them, that culture, that, the richness, but also say, okay, well, let's take this thing that I know that you can relate to, and let's make it work for you, and make it work for your health, and make it work for your wellness. So that's what I enjoy, and food is just good.
Yeah, I'm again thinking off of that. I like teaching people that it's not as hard as you think that it is. I don't know where it came to be that being healthy is super expensive, it's super hard, it's this really tedious thing. I don't know if I was around for that part or however, but I feel like that's the kind of connotation that I've come into the profession knowing, and so I enjoy finding the little pieces of things, and that's also why we have to have lots of energy, because we have to overcompensate for the fact that it might be hard to do it, but it's no, you just have to get a few extra steps in every day, or you just have to pop this in the night before, for me, I just
Or
feel
just making the healthier decision.
Yeah.
One thing at a
So
time.
I enjoy being that positive, enlightening, voice that lets you know that it's not hard. You can make it cheap. It's not as much as our systems are in place that it does affect people at different socioeconomic statuses, where you live, etc. Regardless, it is something that we all have a right to do, and we all deserve to know how to do it. How do we envision ourselves expanding our capacity, our impact as dietitians for our future? We're 5 young, beautiful, spoonful melanin dietitians, and so let's talk about a little bit of how we see ourselves in the future, expanding the work that we do now, or moving on to different work.
So I'll begin. So I'm from Ghana, and a lot of people, depending on what part of Ghana you are, they're not maybe as privileged to maybe the resources we have here. And so being from Ghana and being a dietitian here, it's something that's still growing and expanding in Ghana. There's not many dietitians. So I want to use the tools that I build here, build a strong foundation, to be able to take it back to Ghana and educate women, that's my target audience. And so be able to educate them on how they can live a healthier lifestyle with the resources they have in Ghana. So I think that's the way I can expand, and I can grow my passion by using what I know here to take it back there and work in the community. That's where I see myself.
I think for me, the space that I've been in, more the public health space, some of the biggest things that I've heard from participants in my office, and just from what I've been studying, just from college, grad school, etc., and kind of to what you touched on, Camille, is being healthy is expensive, or my environment doesn't support these things that you're telling me to do. So as dietitians, a lot of time we're doing nutrition education, and I think for me, I'm getting really tired of trying to educate people on what they should be doing when their environment doesn't support that. So I want to, I think down the line, where I feel like my passion lies, is helping to create healthier environments so that people can act on the things that we're asking them to do, the steps that we're asking them to take. So whether that's from the grocery space, making sure that there are grocery stores available to people in food deserts, making sure that there are safe spaces for people to play, because with food, you do need to pair that with physical activity and exercise and movement. So creating healthier environments that kind of foster the behaviors that we want to see people take part in to live these healthy lives that they have the born right to do.
Exactly.
So that's the space that I want to grow in and work in.
For me, I would like to, I would say normalize or just create conversation regarding healthy food by providing ideas so that you don't have to think of being healthy as something odd or anything like extra. It should be a part of your everyday life. So giving them the ideas and the tools to say, I can pair these things together. I don't have to eat the same things over and over again, by providing recipes just to build conversation and make it a part of everyday life. That's how I wish to expand with nutrition.
All right. Well, I think that just about wraps up our conversation for this evening. Thank you all so much for joining us on our very first episode, and we are so excited to bring you more and more and more content. Please remember to submit questions to us. We will add them to our mason jar at Spoonful of Melanin.
Bye, guys.
Bye.